talk a lot.
I'll be honest. I used to not like her making too much noise either.
Wow.
Brother, do you know what it is?
It depends on the settings.
Fam.
And sometimes it's over, like, it's like, I feel like it's overdone.
You know when you've lived either at mum's when you're younger.
Yeah, that's different though.
Or
council
flats. When you got neighbours,
yeah.
You come out your yard and you see people.
You know, as you say that, it's a bit traumatizing. I'm not gonna lie, because you've heard things from neighbours or whatever not. So it's like, hold on, wait, I'm in the same little cubicle that you got upstairs, and I heard you last.
You've heard neighbours before, innit? Right?
100%.
You've heard neighbours before. Yeah. So you hear neighbours, and you come out. Like you're one who lives above you, and you come out and you see Sister Irvin from church on a Sunday after you know what she did on a Saturday night, and you're thinking you need to pray for your sins because you just heard all the get my leg off the chandelier, whatever it is that she's saying, brother. It's too much sometimes.
Yeah.
So for me,
sometimes.
Yeah, I understand
it's
that,
the settings.
but it is where it is. But on the most part,
too loud though is a bit much, though.
Brother.
Like don't overdo it. Don't overdo it.
Fam, I got a pillow lined up. Take the pillow. Take the pillow.
Boom! We back. Episode 59.
59.
But
I hope it's 59.
It is 59.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. But this one's a little bit...
I don't trust you.
It's 59, bro.
I hope it's 59.
Nah, it is 59, man, because it was 58 last week. You know how them numbers be numbering.
Be going up and shit. It's crazy.
Going up on you. It's crazy. Once. But today is a special one. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
We got another special. Our specials are always different, isn't it? When we do a special,
ain't like your usual special. Yeah. I mean, did we do a... No, we didn't do a Batman special.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
but so when we do specials, it ain't like your usual, this is, what you think we're going to do.
Yeah, it's just
not, We're here to bring you something,
Yeah. You know what it is. It's Watch It or Not
TV.
Mm-hmm. I'm your host, Daniel Nero. I'm with my co-host.
I go by the name of Zoosh, a.k.a. Guyver.
And today we've got a special guest.
Come
join us today, Mr.
Aurie Styla. What's going on?
Don't know. In the building.
Are we like, because when I was looking at the film, it said Aurie Styla Green.
Yes.
Are we locking that down? Like, are we locking that?
Sure,
is that what we're doing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Aurie Styla Green,
basically.
And so does that make Styla like the
middle?
The
little Chris Ludacris Bridges.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Are we doing that?
For acting, that's what my manager wants. That's what I want. Brother, if I had a choice to go back in time and decide on my name as a performer again, I would have just gone with my real name.
Really?
Yeah, man. Aurie Green's got a ring to it. It's 5 letters.
Yeah.
2 syllables than 1. I used to do music when I was younger, so I used Styla, which was in my music name. Mm-hmm. I just brought that to when I started doing comedy, Aurie Styla, and I thought, because you kind of tell yourself, well, I shouldn't go with my real name.
Yeah,
you get to mature age, you're like, what's wrong with me? Why am I having to stick with Styla?
It's because you got a name that works, though. You got a name that works.
It works.
A lot of people don't have the name that works.
Yeah, man. Some of us don't have names that we can just do that with. So
I mean,
I should have thought that back then, though, innit?
Showing off for showing off on that over there with the cool name.
It's like when you see them athletes and it just shoots the runner.
Usain Bolt.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck? Like, who was you supposed to be?
Trust me, you could not be working in admin with a name like
no. You was destined for something.
Destined.
That's what I'm saying.
People, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, because we want to hear that sound.
Ta-ting
or
ta-tung.
And for those who are joining us for the first time, could you please explain to us?
So, Aurie, I feel like you might not know this. So
okay.
Let me drop a few gems. So basically, when you're on YouTube, depending on the browser, you jump on the internet. You know when you jump on the internet,
Mozilla,
you might jump
Safari,
Google, all them things there.
Go.
Now, depending on the browser you use, when you're on YouTube, when you press the notification bell to remind you that the show is going to be coming like the next episode, it makes different sounds depending on what browser you're on. So it either goes to ting or it either goes to tung.
I didn't know that. Okay.
I know, it's mad.
Mate, when you come here, it's not just like you get knowledge as well.
We drop gems. It's just up to you if you want to pick them up, kind of thing.
Yeah, we drop them, and if you want to pick them up,
I'm gonna try that. I only use 2 browsers, Safari and Chrome. So
I'm gonna to ting or to tung. Me. So when you get home, notification bell, just so you know when the next episode 60 is coming. Boom, boom, boom. But you'll notice. Mad.
It's crazy. Yeah. Big up Ras on the pictures. Not really on the pictures. No, but I can't.
Visuals.
Man. I tried to. I was gonna slide my way out of it because I realized what I had done, and I was gonna make my. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
It's all right,
On the
don't worry.
visuals.
I'm always here
Yeah,
to make sure you know that I know you fucked up.
And big up Studio 44 for letting us film here
Each and every time.
each and every time. Zeus, could you let us know what we're
So today, well, we said we got a special today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? Aurie, would you like to introduce this?
Okay.
Yeah,
I feel like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he can do the synopsis as well.
Okay.
So yeah, but I didn't know that's what you wanted to start with. So that's why.
Oh, okay.
So let's pull up the synopsis and let's talk about this film,
Okay.
On the Other Foot.
On the Other Foot, yeah.
On the Other Foot. Could you just tell us a little bit about this film, and then we're going to tell you a bit about what we do with the synopsis?
No problem. On the Other Foot is a film about a man called Billy Pitcher. He's white man, family man, racist man. His daughter is not racist. Daughter's very, clued up on society and being able to be social with all kind of backgrounds and so on. Has a boyfriend's black. Daddy don't like that. I don't want to go into too much of the details, there's still bits, but by a certain turn of events, he wakes up in the body of a black man. That black man is me. So he, for a few days, gets to understand what it's like to be a black man, even though he's got racist ideologies. So he's going out in the world with his view. He learns about the experience of being someone who's black and being on the receiving end of the racism that he's put out there. It's a comedy, but also it's quite informative as well. And it came out recently, available on, I think it was April the 9th, on all streaming platforms and on DVD as well, and Blu-ray. So yeah.
First of all,
the perfect breakdown. I was like,
don't even really need the synopsis.
Bun the synopsis.
Yeah, all right, no, let me see the film.
It's like normally we get someone to read the synopsis in the voice that we want them to read it in, but that was like, yo.
Yeah. So we've got the film today. If you didn't catch it, it's On the Other Foot.
Yeah.
You can get that. This is from Asda. It's from Asda.
I bought every single copy I found in the Asda in Milton Keynes when I was up there. I went to IKEA there and I saw Asda. I was like, let me see if it's got in there. Boom, picked up as many as I could.
Okay.
So, yeah.
On the front screen and that as well.
Yeah,
yo.
No joke whatsoever. Serious things. So,
I want to get into a bit about the cast because I noticed loads of cameos.
There's quite a few faces in it. Yeah, man.
There was quite a few. So, first and foremost, the first name I noticed was Freddie.
Freddie Nwaka.
Yeah.
Freddie Nwaka wrote the screen. He wrote it, directed it, produced it. So yeah, it's Freddie's. It's everyone's baby, but it's Freddie's baby, mate. If that makes sense.
So I remember Freddie from Clean back in the days.
Oh, from Freddy
Krueger.
Yeah, music artist Freddy Krueger. Yeah.
So when I see that name, I was like, oh, like still, because I remember when he was doing his whole film, when he was even doing the Freddy Krueger thing. I remember when he was getting into it and he was doing what he was doing. So like to see his name pop up and I see it pop up there, and I was like, oh,
Freddie's active.
Man. So clap, man. Shout out to Freddie. That was real. That was a good name to see. Who else did I see? I see Lady Leisha.
Big shout out to Leisha. She plays one of the friends of the daughter in the movie. Oh, Leisha's great, man. Yeah. Everyone was great in it, but she's in it.
There was Costello.
So
Costello in there. Who else did I see in there? You know who I noticed as well? The dentist.
Yeah, the singing
Milad Shadru, aka the singing dentist. Large up Costello and large up the singing dentist. Them lot. Yeah, it was great working with them. Like, these are people I know from a long time.
Yeah.
But seeing them on screen as well is nice to see them in a different light, in the same way that I guess for you lot who know me from before, to see me on the screen as well. It's good to see how they delivered, and just it's nice.
100%. Like, I always think that as well, because it's like when you watch films and you start to see people that you know from certain other stuff, and it's like it's giving them a little shine and a different light, seeing how they how they can pull it off. Because I suppose it's not easy to make that transition.
It can be tricky. It depends. I've done a few films where I found it hard to get into a role or to get my head around the work schedule or what you had to kind of do, whilst also balancing other things. Like if you can imagine, I don't know, Leisha and Costello, they do music as well as Costello does social media content, but then to go into doing a film, like at the same time as still doing the stuff that you're doing, trying to jump between the two can be tricky.
Yeah.
You've got to get your head in music mode. For me, comedy, if I'm doing comedy and then I have to go into filming, got to get my head into acting mode and then into comedy mode and so on. So it can be a bit jarring at times, but once you get into the swing of it and get used to it, it's fun. It's one of them tasks that you say, yeah.
Does one help the other? Though?
Depends on the type of thing that you do. I don't know. I can't speak for them.
Yeah.
But for myself, because this had elements of, well, not elements. It's a comedy film, and I'm a comedian myself. There are some serious bits in there. One thing that helped was understanding how something would be perceived by the audience, the way that it's delivered. So if I'm, rather than just reading your line and going and saying what the line is, knowing how to say it in a way that they're going to hear it and go, that's funny. Again, 12 years a comedian. So for me to be able to read that, where someone else who may have written it goes, I think it's going to be funny, or it will be funny this way. I can then go, actually, if you tweak it a little bit. So yeah, it does help in that sense. And also learning lines. For me, at the beginning of like acting, I found it tricky. But when you've done like hour-long or hour-and-a-half-long comedy specials, you've got to remember all your material. And you remember how you get into the flow of your material. Same with me in learning lines. I can get my script. I go through the script and rehearse as much as I can. But then what I would do is on days that I know what scenes I'm doing, on the day I'd go through each scene for a large chunk of the time beforehand so I can go into the scene and just know what my lines are then. That became easier later on down the line of doing more films, because I think with the practice of having to do that with the comedy that you do, or with knowing that you have to deliver points within each part of your comedy, I took that with me when it came to like trying to get through monologues and stuff that I had to say and know which beats of the monologue that I need to hit that remind me to go to the next beat and then the next one. So some skills are transferable.
Yeah. And I can see how that works, man.
So this film, what is this your second, your third? Because I know we saw you in Are We Dead Yet?
Yeah.
That was
Are We Dead Yet? It's called The Living. The name had to change.
Oh, what's it called now?
The Living Dead.
The Living Dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Distribution had a tweet with the name. You know, some films go in different countries.
Yeah.
They're called different things.
Yeah.
So in the UK, it's The Living Dead.
Oh, The Living Dead. Okay.
Okay.
The Living Dead was my first feature where I was main character.
Yeah.
So it was me and 4 others that were the main characters. Yeah. Like a team of people that were doing robberies and stuff. And that was with Freddie as well. This would be the second one in terms of main feature. Yeah. I've done things where I've been in stuff for like a few days or filming or whatsoever, and I just feature for a particular scene and so on. I've done loads and loads of projects like that, but in terms of me being like the front cover of it, this is the second one. Living Dead would have been the first one.
So can you tell us a bit like about when you found out you got the role, how you got the role, or what how did that come about? Did you have to audition?
So no, I didn't, and I'll tell you why.
Well, okay.
The role just made for man.
It's already free. Yeah. We'll take him.
I'll tell you
sip that water.
Sip
that water, superstar.
I'll tell you how it happened. Freddie phoned me, I think, 2 or 3 days before the read through, where everyone comes down and does a read through. But because we filmed this, it was during when pandemic hit and we were all locked down. The read through wasn't a meetup; it was like online. So we were all on like a Zoom call doing the read through. He called me 2 or 3 days before and said, "Aurie, I need to know if you can be in this film and be a particular role." And I said, "All right, how many days do I need to film?" He goes, "Pretty much all of them." I said, "What's the role?" "Main character, this is what the film is about." And he kind of gave me a rough idea of what it is, and then gave me an ultimatum. "I need to know within a couple of hours.
No.
Can you do this?" Now, my worry was the dates. Yeah. To be fair, we weren't working as much because we were all locked down. There was no tours or no going to do live performances. But I did have other things booked in and with my manager when it came to TV shows. I had to film more like appearances for comedy bits on like Comedy Central and so on. Luckily, all of the days matched. I was like, I'm not doing anything else this time. I worked with Freddie before. I said, yeah, I'm happy to work with Freddie again, of course. And I said, yeah. And then 2 days later, I'm in this read through and I realized just that I'm like the face of this film. That's how it came about. Yeah. But I remember I worked with Freddie before, so it's like he's seen me work with him before. And Freddie, even though he likes to mix it up, he does like to have people that he works with often enough to, similar to like a Christopher Nolan.
And I was just about to say, I feel like that's becoming quite normal because you see the same directors, same producers.
The same thing. You work with people that you know that they don't have to be main characters. They can be in bits or main character. You can chop them around and stuff because they know how you work. You know how they work. They know your heart. You know their heart, and you can get busy with creating some great stuff. And I think with Freddie, when he saw me do The Living Dead, and then he was like, well, we need someone for this role. And I know someone else was initially cast for it because, again, like I said, he likes to work with the same people. Not in the same like main roles, but to mix them up. I think the person couldn't do it.
Okay.
And he was like, Aurie, look, can you jump in on the main role of this? And I was like, yeah, come true. Let's go.
Okay.
Dope.
No, that's good. What was there any differences between this production and Living Dead?
He'll tell you it leveled up. Up. That was his first feature length. So for him, he's done shorts. For him doing a first full feature, like with anything, like think of episode 1 of Watch It or Not. To now, there's things you've changed. You understand? There's things you've changed. There's things you've learned. There's things you've leveled up on. In terms of production, this one luckily was mainly, if not all, London based when we did this film.
Okay.
But with Living Dead, we went up to 2 big castles up in like Staffordshire, I want to say, and Stoke-on-Trent, which I think is in Staffordshire. I can't jump bad now. So Stoke-on-Trent, we was up there. One haunted house, like actually listed as haunted, that we had to film at night times and daytimes for The Living Dead. And like the whole being on set in different places was dope. But I think with this one, with anyone, you learn from the first film. And then he done another film with Love Spell with Kane Brown in it. And so he done that film. And then you level up from that and he came to do this one. And he's doing another one now. So as time goes along, it's like you pick up things, you learn stuff, and you level up each time. And I feel like this one was, even though we had the pandemic slow us down with some things, this one was definitely like a big jump from the first one, just because the production not just him, everyone on his team and who he may have worked with had more of an idea of how do we get this shot and make sure it is quicker this way. How do we know we're picking up this? So in the edit, we don't have to do reshoots, etc., etc. So it felt like it was a lot more, I don't want to say organized. It was a lot more assertive in what he wanted to pick up and how he wanted to pick things up. And it just made things a lot more snappier and a lot well kind of time managed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, totally.
What's Freddie like working with him as the director on the on
He's cool. He's dope. Only thing is, it's like it's hard. When you work with man you see them in a professional light, but then afterwards you're like, it's also man them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Freddie's been on the road. He'll tell you his life story, so you see that element in him. But then on the other side, you see him going, all right, we need to get this done, work, and so on, and that. And it's like, you respect someone jumping into a role of what they need to do the same way that an actor would do. But then also, when you see certain things that you want to joke about with, you can do, because again, it's man them. And there are times, not so much on this one, I think more on A Living Dead.
That was much more of a comedy though.
Well, they both are in it, really. But the other one was more, it was comedy horror, and this one's
comedy
drama.
Comedy drama.
So with that one, I think it was more, because there was also so many of us, like on even just the main cast of the Robbers. It was me, man like Hacks, Bradley Turner, Paul Danan, Jessica Stafford, and me and Hacks, would banter with Paul a lot, and then with Freddie, and it just, after a while, it's like non-stop distractions at times. And I think with that was, Freddie had to try to keep us in line at times, and that was what made it funny and pleasurable to work with all of us lot. But also, you can see the mandem aspect coming out here, where he's like, well, they're jumping on the jokes, we have to pull back. This time around, it was like, no, we're going to get stuff sorted. You can laugh when I say cut, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's cool to work with him, man. He's dope, man. And one thing I always try to say to him, though, is that he's on this set thinking of the next 3 projects. Not because he's not focused on here, but as soon as this is wrapped, a week break, maybe just have a breather, and he's on the next thing.
Yeah.
And I know, and I'm a workaholic, very similar to him, and it's detrimental to me. There are times I'm like, brother, just take a breather.
Yeah.
Let this one. I know it's 1 week. Take a month, brother. He's on the next one already.
He's on it.
He's hard working. And I think it's the only thing I ever try to say, bro. Just take some time to rest and relax a little bit, because like.
Nobody wants to hear that though.
Yeah.
Brother, none of us do.
Yeah, nobody.
None of us do.
I know when a man's like to me, like, oh, do you know why aren't you trying? I'm like, bro, like you don't know what I'm trying to do out here, man. Like you ain't got a
That's
clue.
what it is. Everyone's on a
see,
mission.
I just come off my tour and then went straight to Austria and then come back to then carry on with more road shows to get ready for Fringe Festival at the in summer.
Yeah.
It's like non-stop, and people always say, Aurie, when are you gonna have a breather? And I'm like, well, I do have a breather. When I'm driving to the next place, I relax then. I listen to music. I might hear a podcast then or something. Telling myself I'm relaxing. I'm not really, but we all like to work.
Some time out, time out.
Yeah, man. But man, it's cool to work with, man. And just, good guy.
What was it like playing the actual part you had to play? Because your part was...
It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm a black guy in real life, pretending to be a white guy that hates black people, then is in a black body.
Yeah.
But I don't get in a headspace of that sometimes. Fam, trying to retain that headspace. I'm not somebody who... I'm one of them people that when I hear people say, I method act, I'm like, all right, shut up.
Yeah.
But there were times I had to try and stay in the mindset of a white man who hates black people. And what I would do is when we're not filming, is I would throw a couple of comments about my own people, either to myself or to some of the ones who are around me, like people that are around
Negative.
me. Yeah. Because I know that I have to stay. As soon as they say, all right, we've turned the cameras, we're going to go for another take, I still got to retain that kind of dislike for my own people. And I'll be real, I've never felt, when filming something, I've never felt kind of so out of place having to try and retain a dislike for myself as much as this, because I'm having to try and figure out what it feels like to look at black kings and queens and go, ugh. And having to tell myself that. I never got as deep as method, nothing like that. But just knowing that when I'm off take, I got to look around.
You got to be believable.
Brother, because if I'm like king, queen, yo, big up, and then all of a sudden, on the camera, it don't work.
It'll translate. That
so I had to kind of stay in that mindset. And there was a couple of days where I saw Chidi and Castillo and Leisha and all of them lot just bubbling, wicked and just being social. And I got to keep myself away from that to remind myself when I sit with these guys on camera, I got to look at you like you lot make me sick. And it did take its toll on days where it felt a bit lonely. But it wasn't as deep as method. It was just a couple of days where I was like, I have to remind myself that I can't look too friendly with everybody when it is a film that is trying to raise awareness of how people see many races of different colors, especially from a white man's perspective, a white racist man's perspective rather. I have to try and stay in the headspace I've never been in before, and then not get comfortable coming out of it if I got to go back into it again. It weren't easy on some days, but majority of the time it was cool because it was a comedy film. But when you have to hit some of the serious tones, which to be fair, I don't even think it was so much me who hit them hard. Tim Faraday plays Billy when he's white. When I tell you, Tim bodied that role so well. And he is such a loving person, but he's been in the game for donkeys
I've
years.
seen his face.
I've seen his face about.
But he's been about Snatch. He's been in loads of
Snatch. That's where I remember him from.
Him being the person to do it, to be a white man who has to pretend he hates people of different races.
Same sort of thing you're saying, I guess, isn't it? And then have to tap in.
He who says this? Roy Wood Jr., comedian. He makes a joke about this. He says, you know who doesn't get enough praise is white actors that have to play the racist guys in black films, right? Leonardo DiCaprio, for example, in Django. Like, you know that he didn't sit with anybody during the lunch breaks. Like half the amount of times
Like he was
brother,
way too believable.
Fam, he said, Roy Woods Jr. kills this bit, and it's so real. He says, right, the amount of times like he's had to say the N-word on screen to Jamie Foxx in front of Samuel L. Jackson. You can't just do another film with these men next week as if you never done that the week before, right? So, and even though it's funny, bro, there's elements to it that you don't even realize until you have to do it.
Yeah.
Bruh.
No one ever thinks that, because you always think that as well. Like when you watch certain, mainly like when you watch like hood things and you see the cop. There's always like a certain cop. I can't think of his name, but there's always a cop that you see that, and after a while you just believe, nah, that's you.
Hey, straight out of Compton, when the man got put on the floor and the black cop was the one treating it. Brother, I hated that. I could not stand that man. But imagine having to be the black guy that has to hate these other brothers. People see him and go, you know what? You know, you acted well, but
too well.
Where you get that training from, brother? It feels real.
Too well.
One thing that I noticed is because when we watch, when we usually watch British or kind of low budget movies, the acting ain't always there.
Yeah,
we have especially with like comedies.
That's exactly what I'm touching on. We always, whenever we watch comedies, they're always, is it the word slapstick that I'm looking for? It's like, kind of funny. That's a funny. Whereas what I enjoyed about this is it wasn't that type of comedy.
Yeah, no. There was nuance to it.
Exactly. And also on top of that, it actually, for me, hit the racial elements quite well. Actually, do you know, like the moments that happen
that
to
needed
you all
to hit,
the time. Even the lady, when I know it's kind of cliche, but when he wants the water gun.
When he
wants the water gun, and she's like, "Nah, you can't have the water gun." Do you know what I'm saying? I remember my mum telling me that story about a pellet gun. I wanted a pellet gun. One of the dudes, on like the estate that I used to hang on, he had a pellet gun, and I was like, "Oh, mum, you're right, the cap gun." Then you put the little red thing, the little red thing pops, the red black
one, bang, really loud.
Exactly. And you used to get the little pouch. You used to get the little pouch with it.
A piece of shit.
It was dead. But I wanted one, and I remember my mum telling me, like, I remember, she wouldn't. She said, "Nah, you can't have it." But like, you see, at the time, you're like, "Oh, my mum's just being whatever." Do you know what I mean? But when you grow up, you understand, like, right? She really had game on it. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's different for us. Mad different.
Yeah, because I didn't actually read the synopsis before I watched this. So I had no idea what.
I
purposely didn't though. Because I wanted to see if I could pick it up, and it's like that's why when you said comedy drama, I was like, yeah, definitely comedy drama, because like for the first part, it wasn't nothing funny. Like, it wasn't nothing funny. It was actually it was intriguing. I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. To be honest, I think I was expecting more of a slapstick sort of thing. You get me? Because that's normally what we're used to when it comes to the British comedies. So it was interesting that this had like a serious undertone to it. And like Daniel said, it was hitting points. And it was like, I guess it was like when you almost have to like dumb things down so people understand it and see it from the angle, like clearly. It's like, this is why, because of this. And so this was good at like pinpointing them moments as well as then introducing jokes. Because I feel like the jokes came later on in the film.
It was like after you appeared.
Well,
that's when
it started to go heavy.
When Billy was black. That's when it started. That's when it's thing.
For me, there were points. No, go
ahead.
There were points where there was humor beforehand, but it wasn't like you said slapstick. It was very nuanced. Like when Singing Dentist, when the doctor said to him,
"Oh yeah,
all right, just gonna feel a little prick." You call it a prick? Like, that bit, or when he said, "Do you wash your hands? I'm wearing gloves." So like the little bits there.
Or even when he was putting on the voice, to be fair, and he was like pulling his leg, but
little
you kind of like you could see
that happening in real life.
That's what I'm saying.
That brother, when he sat there and he goes, "What do you do for a living?" "I drive a black taxi." A black cat. It's the way he embodied that nuance of hitting the notes that you wanted to punch him, but also you found him almost. This is the hard bit, trying to make him likable, because later on he's got to be redeemable, right? And it was humor that they used to do that. Even when he came out the taxi and he was African outfit.
Oh, bro.
Brother.
You know how funny that was? That was hilarious, bro.
Timing.
That was so funny.
The camera
bro.
was one place and he just stepped into it. It's like it just panned. When he did that.
That was joke.
Bro.
And even when he walked in and it's like, oh my God, white people are late. White people are late. Come down to the front. Come down to the front. Come down to the front. No, that was funny. But like we're saying, that's the type of comedy that I enjoy.
Yeah, because if you're going to do it, it doesn't need to be over exaggerated.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like, hey, guess what? This is a joke. This is a joke, guys. Hey, laugh now.
Little things in it. Yeah, I like that.
So, but I wonder if as well, it's because it had a storyline though. There was something there there was some sort of substance there. Yeah. And certain times when we're watching other stuff as well, they also don't have that. So it's like, it's just humor upon humor and then it's over exaggerated. But it's like, what am I actually trying to sink my teeth into? Whereas here, there was like an actual... something was happening. You get me? And even though I didn't know how it was going to end, I knew there was going to be an ending, but I just didn't know what it was going to be. So it was like you were almost waiting to see, okay, how is this going to flip? Is he going to stay the same? Is he going to have like some kind of moral? You get me? And so it was interesting. So there was substance to that. So I wonder if that also helped along with the jokes not being so, like you said, stand out. You hear me? Yeah, 100%.
No, it was good. Have you got anything else lined up in the pipeline? Is there anything else coming up? Can we expect to see you in...
So, filming bits right now, no.
No, okay.
Nah, not because I don't want to. This year, we filmed this in 2020.
Okay.
Literally... Wait, 2020 or 2021? Bro, I can't remember, I'll be honest. It came out, it premiered in 2021. When we had like a premiere, everyone who was in it, and then other people who were going to review it. We saw it at the end. It was on my birthday, we did the prem.
Okay.
I can't remember. My head's all over the place. Like 2020, 2021.
Yeah, it's
all a bit of a miss. Still. I think it was 2020 during the summertime, right? This year, I focused on my tour, Green, the comedy tour. That started from August. I was planning it, getting everything together, all the way up until delivering the tour in March. And then from March onwards, it was 14 shows in 28 days. So it was a lot. It was intense.
Damn,
that's crazy.
And then, like I said earlier on, after that, went straight to Austria to do a festival out there. Came back, and April has been like a month where I have a bit of a breather. But even in that breather, it's to get everything ready for May, June, July, which is 3 months of rejigging the show, Green. So when I do Edinburgh in August, I'm doing it for an entire month.
Wow.
Right, 25 every day. So every day at the festival, I do the show plus other bookings that you get when you're up in the festival. Yeah. So it could be easy 3 shows a day, but the minimum of what I might do is my 1 hour show every day. So for me, this year it's been just focusing on Green being delivered because it was quite an important tour for me to do. And other bits that come have been like appearances on like on a TV show or a panel show or something like that, or it might be in an advert. A lot of voiceover work that I do as well, but not so much acting, especially like where I was the main character in it, because this year is just the comedy stuff that we've been getting back to.
One thing I want to touch on that we spoke about, and you say you was the main character, and from me watching it, I could see that you was one of the main characters. Could you see that he was one of the main characters?
Yeah.
You could
I identify.
You could see that, yeah.
Okay.
But funny enough, as I was trying to look for this movie on Apple.
Okay.
Yeah? And the way I looked for it was by putting your name in. So I put Aurie, and I was like, I'll bring it up because Aurie's in it, and I mean I can see him on the front. I would assume that it would come in, but it never came up. Yeah. So I was like, that's odd. Why did that not happen? So then, because Are We Dead Yet? The Living Dead came up. Yeah, that came up fine. So I was like, that's strange. So then I messaged you and I was like, hey, like this movie isn't on Apple because I've put it in your name.
And I sent the link to you,
and you sent the link. And I was like, that's strange. So then went to the link, I looked at it and I was like, hold a minute, it doesn't even say your name. Your name's not there. Like it doesn't like your name isn't part of the main cast.
Okay.
And on top of that, it doesn't come up at the end. It doesn't come up when the main cast. When the credits roll up, your name isn't there. Could we maybe have an explanation of that? Because I was baffled. Like we spoke about it. I was like, hang on a minute. Like What have I missed? Like,
okay. I think with the credits bit, that was an admin error.
Okay.
More than anything else. Because on the credits, it like at the beginning, it says Tim Faraday, Aurie, Styla Green.
Yeah.
And it's there, right? The first two names. At the end, when the credits roll, it's got Billy Pitcher and then Tim Faraday. But I'm also Billy Pitcher. So what would normally happen is maybe Billy Pitcher brackets black and then Aurie, Styla Green. And it didn't come up. I think that's just an admin error on that one. As for Apple...
Was you slide tight about that?
Say again?
Was you slide tight about that? A little piece.
Like
when the first time you see it,
Come on, man.
Just
be a safe space as well. Let's be a safe space.
Be safe.
This is a safe space.
I'll tell you where it was. I filmed, like, I watched it myself when it came out. Obviously, I've seen it before, but I did the whole filming bits of it when I'm watching it myself. Yeah. And I got to the end, I was like, yeah, credits. Yep. Yeah. And I thought it was like in order of appearance. And I don't appear until maybe 15, 20 minutes in the film. Because obviously you got the story of him when he's white. Yeah. I'm like, all right, let me scroll down for the appearance, yeah? Then I see Karate Kids come up.
That's exactly where and
I know when the Karate Kids come in. Well after I do, because I'm in that scene.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I'm sure I appeared before this bit. Nothing came up. I was like, all right, let me scroll through these names again. And I realized Billy Pitcher, right at the top, I would have been like a slash and then my name next to that. But I think it's just an admin error on that side of it. Does it faze me? No. But I think it was only when I was trying to film myself, I was like, hold the phone. Yeah. What's going on here? Yeah. But other than that, not to be, bruv, I'm on the front cover.
Yeah, I think that's redeemable, isn't it? Like, it'd be like,
I'm on the back too as well. You can't not see me on that.
And you know what? Yeah, I think like it's only certain people that's gonna read the last. I read the last bit.
To be fair, I didn't notice.
Yeah, I only read it. To be fair, the only reason I checked it was because of when I searched Apple and they didn't come up, but the other movie did.
So on the Apple thing, do you know what I found out? Well, not even found out. I knew someone has to log that in terms of you. If there's a database of actors, it's not Apple logging it. It's people who manage the actors, whether it be on IMDb or whatever. Bro, I ain't made my own IMDb account. I need to.
Okay.
But I've not made one. You need to make one, or your managers or your agency, they make them so you can log on there. Okay. Someone's made one for me. Yeah. I don't know who it is. It probably is the industry of people that have programs. Yeah. Because if you find me on IMDb, it's got On the Other Foot. It's got The Living Dead. I'm one of the writers for one of the seasons of Latest Show with Mo Gilligan. It's got all the episodes on that as a writer. It's got all the things that I've done that were things that are on TV or on movies and whatsoever, right? And because of that, and because it's there, like, that's where I realized the only reason someone's made that, and then you just attach the names to it when you create another film and you go, who's in it? And you Google it. Oh, that's who you're tagging it, right? But with Apple, I just don't think it's been made or logged there. Okay. And I can understand why it's not like it was a big blockbuster.
No, but your name is there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because when I put for the living
maybe
dead.
just admin wise, it hasn't tagged me to that film. But again, it's not. That's not what I would do. That's on. I don't know who that does that, but it'll be on that side.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I suppose in the grand scheme of things, it's very minor because you're on the front page.
Smart.
You watch the
smart
movie.
Things. Smart.
You're throughout it. Smart. It was just something I noticed. I was like,
I
was like,
okay. I clocked it too, but again, bro, it's already gone to press. As far as I'm concerned, all right, fine. Yeah. Same credit. It's not like you didn't delete me through the film.
Yeah, exactly.
If it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's nothing to kind of kick up anything about, really. Yeah, it's just is what it is.
That's fair.
Yeah, sure. Being in that comedy world and obviously your comedic roles in the films, is that something you'd rather stay in for a little while?
Doing like comedy stuff?
Comedy roles? Or are you trying, and if you're trying to bridge out, what direction would you to bridge out first?
If you look at some of the best roles in like films and in TV programs that are not comedy, like drama and stuff, it's a lot of comedians that can do that. Yeah. And I haven't got the full theory why. I can only think of maybe as a comedian, I get to range myself when it comes to telling stories through different emotions to be able to deliver the story, or I get to analyze different emotions and find humor in them,
Yeah.
which again is quite nuanced. I would love to do films which is not comedy based, just because I like the idea of the challenge of doing things that are more dramatic or even action, putting my body through that kind of stuff as well. But I don't know what it is with, if you look at so many great entertainers and actors even that have won roles and awards that initially they were comedians. Like, I mean, you've seen, I mean, people doubted when Kevin Hart was going to do True Story on Netflix, right? There's one thing you cannot take away from him in that, is that he got into his dramatic bag, bodied it. If you see Jamie Foxx when he's done Ray, or when Jamie's done a bag of films actually, Collateral, Jim Carrey when it comes to his serious roles as well. Bruv, like, just because just as a comedian, people I kind of expect you to just do funny stuff. But
that's kind of why I asked her as well, because you do notice sometimes comedians do make better, like
other roles. They do. I don't know the full science. I can only go by what I think it might be. But bro, throw me in all kind of stuff. I don't mind the challenge of having to find the nuance. Like in the Living Dead, when we did that, even though that was a comedy based role, one of the reviews that I read was very much how believable I was as the person saying, "Can we get out of here, please?" Like, even though I'm being funny at times, I'm the guy that's like, as much as the stereotype is the black guy in the movies die first or whatever, I'm the one sitting there going, you realize how stupid this is that we're here. Not always in a slapstick way, but in a very genuine, can we get out of this haunted house? Like, you lot see these ghosts here, you're money orientated, I like my life, can we bounce? And that's the one thing they said that kind of anchored the realization of just how ridiculous it was for me to do some of the things, was that I kind of was narrating what the audience's thoughts were. Well, why would you step, if the door's waving at you and creaking, why would you go through that room? So it's trying to find it's the roles that come to you, and it's trying to find how you can fit in those roles. And sometimes stripping away the comedy is more pleasurable than actually trying to be Mr. Funny all the time. It's too much pressure to always be funny, because after a while, it's like, especially as a comedian, if you look at the comedians that you might like, they have a style, and if that's their style, we enjoy them for their style. If they try and go away from their style, sometimes we might not like their funny. If we see them do funny on stage, and then see them do funny in movies, that's the style we're looking for.
I hate that.
Right? If they don't do that style and they try to be funny in other ways, it can kind of be jarring. But one thing that you can't be jarred by is if they're not trying to be funny, but what they're trying to do is be dramatic, or they're trying to be in an action role or whatsoever. And you're like, oh, I can see you stretching out into something I didn't expect you and already box you in terms of being one type of funny. You're actually drama. I didn't expect you to be like that, but you showed me something new. And that, for me, I like that challenge. I really do like the idea of that.
Oh, that's dope. If you could pick a role, any role, what would it be to play? Like any, let me phrase that better. If you can pick pick a movie, like one of your favorite movies, what role would you have liked to play? That's basically what I'm trying to get at. What's a role you would have liked to?
I don't have a favorite movie I can think of with the role I've picked, but I would have loved to do something like, I'm going to say two. One, because I watched one of them recently, was Green Mile, but not John Coffey's role. Like Tom Hanks or David Morse, who played Brutal, the tall one, their role, where there was a little bit of humour in there with how they played with the roles and their chemistry together, but also how dramatic and emotional they had to be when it came to dealing with John Coffey, when it came to dealing with Dale, the one who, when they electrocuted, the guy didn't wet the sponge. When they had to deal with the short guard who was just a a-hole. Like, you can see them jump between a bit of camaraderie between Morse and Hanks with their characters, but you could also see them be like, they could also see them be very dramatic and emotional with certain elements. I like the idea of those roles. And then the other one would be, I don't know, like in Inception, where you have it's an action film that there is a level of intelligence that you have to be able to portray, so everyone outside of the film who's watching goes, I believe you lot know what you're talking about. When Tom Hardy's character's in there and he's talking about the things he knows about understanding dreams and the depths of them, he also has a certain charisma that he's likable. Even when he kicked my man's chair, when it all fell down, little bits of charisma like that. It's humorous to a degree, but it's not humor based. There's dialogue in there which requires a believability of from others that you know what you're talking about when you're delivering the dialogue. The charisma of this person being a nice kind of, I really like this guy. Yeah. And then being able to deliver that for a film which is technically just astounding on how they build it together, and you being like a small cog in that, I'd like to be able to see that. I played a very small role in a couple of episodes of Sherlock with
Benedict
Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
And
is it? Dope.
I can't forget his name. Played the Hobbit. Tip of my tongue. I hate when that happens, when you forget someone's name. Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
So we played security guards where Sherlock's coming into a building, and this is in season 3. Sherlock's coming into a building and he's talking through how he's going to build and do and think through getting past what he needs to get past to do the next thing he does, like he always does, the whole deduction thing. And when we filmed it, the visionaries that create that scene knew what they wanted to do with us. We had to run in and grab Sherlock and then pull him out the building, which is what I did with another guy. We run in, we grab Benedict and we just drag him out the building, right? Then they can envision doing the scene again, where we run and then we freeze, and then they quickly run and put green screens behind us so they can capture our freeze, and it's a genuine capture of us freezing. And then they click us like computer icons and throw us in the trash can in terms of in the edit. The technicality of all of that and being a part of that cog, whilst being able to deliver whatever the role is that you need to do, for me, that interests me. I really, really enjoyed that. And that was a small part. I can imagine only what it means to be like someone like in Benedict Cumberbatch's role, and having to do that and be able to deliver so everyone else can do their thing as well. I love them. I love that kind of way of looking at filming.
Yeah, that was dope. Yeah, you opened that up.
That was a developed answer. I thought you were going to say you wanted to be the next black Star Trek captain.
Denzel from Training Day.
The USS Enterprise with Aurie Styla Green on the deck.
I'll be so real with you. I love the idea of us being in movies. I don't like the idea of the colour of us preceding the roles that we get. Not because I don't want to see us on screen. I do. But I want us to be in normal roles, but we're just black.
Do you feel like that's changing a little bit with the Michael Eli's and the Omar Epps playing them idiot intruder roles?
Bros.
Let's be honest.
Michael Ealy got that down.
Let's be like,
is he intruder?
We all like Omar Epps and Michael Eli, but them roles there, I'm glad they're getting them, but the films, questionable.
I've not seen the film, but I've seen the talk on it.
I'm just,
But
we need those roles because,
brother,
like, if it's not them playing, it's still a shit film. Like, it doesn't matter who's playing it. But I'm just glad we can play them roles and it's looked upon like it's like cash. You get me?
I get what. All right, you see Boomerang. Remember when Eddie was talking about how he picked all his cast and their color didn't matter. He picked black people because he didn't see black people in roles that were normal for them to be in. Yeah. Everybody in that film, in Boomerang, is working in this office building in prime positions, doing their thing. But there's no like, we're going to get the black guy. It's just literally they're black people doing things that we know black. Some of us here are. We know black homeowners. We know black people that work in accounting and are like the leaders of their firms. People that have businesses where they're the leaders of that particular industry. And being black didn't have to be the reason that they were that. Just they're great black people doing great things. And I want to see more dem roles where you cast me to be something, not because you want to then try to force being proactive with making us get the black guy in that role.
It's
just cast us
statistics, isn't it?
Jordan Peele was talking about that, wasn't he? And he said about the films that he casts, he's casting black people because he wants us to be have great opportunities. But he's not trying to force the caricature of blackness.
All right, cool. So, I mean, we watched the film.
Yeah.
I guess we should get into it on whether it's
or watch it or not. For me,
be honest.
I mean, and we do. That's what we pride ourselves. We pride ourselves on being honest.
Like, I'm here, innit?
Yeah, that make a difference.
Because I noticed it was real positive. I got one negative thing to say.
Bro,
one bad thing. And it annoys me when I see it. And I don't know if it was purposely put on, but I was like, ugh. You see when Nah. You see when your daughter, she chops. She went.
That was so dead as well.
Yo, that shit.
That was the deadest
big
one.
Up to,
it was like, I can't even do it properly.
Lily.
I can't even do it properly. That was the only thing.
She chops better than you, didn't it?
Maybe. I'm like, maybe I never did. But that was the only thing I saw. I was like,
well, bro, no, be real. Even though Lily.
Other than that, it wasn't her.
No. It's obviously the character.
That bit there.
Deep it though. How many times do we see like?
No, I got it as well. Yeah.
No. Jump in.
And I think that's what irritated me. It's like you got that too well. Then
I see what you mean. It's like when I watched Top Boy and Kano's niece was played like Unks. That kind of character. Yeah. But it worked in Top Boy because they obviously wanted someone who was annoyingly forcing it. But I get what you're saying about this bit. Yeah.
But man. For me, this is a watch it. I actually enjoyed it, and like you said, it was actually quite refreshing to see a British comedy like this with a serious undertone that actually worked. Yeah. So well done to you, man. You played. You was well in it. You played well in it. Like it didn't seem like you were forcing it or anything like that. And like I said, the acting was of a certain level. Like it wasn't like trash. You know what I mean? That
there was so many people in there that are not actors that found their feet into being them, and then you had other people in there who are actors that they were able to just find depth in different parts of the role and stuff. And I enjoyed it, man.
It was a fun film. It's definitely a watch it from me because, like I said, I didn't read the synopsis. I just went in there. You get me? Like just no idea of where it was. So I was pleasantly surprised because of. The storyline had something there. It had something there. And like Dan said, man, there weren't no stupid jokes going on or whatever not. So everything kind of complemented it well, man. It was good.
All right, so
lovely.
Well done.
Thank you.
So
shout out to everyone who was on it, man.
Big up all the cast and everyone that was involved in it. We've now come to the end of the show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Come on.
We know you're a busy man. You get me with snow bombing, acting, the tour. We didn't even get to touch on the tour.
I had two questions.
Yeah, I had some questions, but we've...
next time, man. On your next film.
We'll get that.
100.
So thank you guys for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the special today on the other foot with Aurie Styla joining us.
Yes, sir.
Make sure again you like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure you don't watch it or not by yourself, because watching it not by yourself is
boring,
dead. It's rubbish, and you seem lonely.
Yeah.
So it's best that you
don't be a loser, right? Don't be a loser.
To the people that live on their own,
find a friend, find a big best Zoom.
Not next door, because you don't want to be that guy. So again, thank you for joining us, Aurie. We hope to bring you back down again to review something different, maybe.
Yeah, we gotta get you down to review a film and a show.
Again, people, it's Watch It or Not TV. I'm your host, Daniel Nero. We've already done it once.
No, I'm saying, you're just saying the whole thing now, going back to episode 5.
Yeah, we already done. You
don't even know what you messed up on. Look how you just ended the show, man. You made me sick, bro.
Wow.
I knew we couldn't have a clean show, could we, man? We got here, man. It's episode 59, people. We out.